Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, I'm going to be answering one of the most requested video topics that I have ever received. When is Bitcoin going back to $20,000? In this video, guys, I'm going to show you exactly when you can expect Bitcoin to go back to $20,000, and I'm also going to be showing you why Bitcoin hasn't already gone back to $20,000. This is legitimately the most requested video topic that I have ever received, except for perhaps doing random technical analysis on some crap coin. But otherwise, this is definitely the most common. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why Bitcoin hasn't gone to $20,000, when it's going to, and what factors are involved in that movement. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll walk away with a better understanding of the current market climate and when we can expect Bitcoin to return to our all-time high, so you can be prepared in both your trading and your investing. So guys, I think this is going to be a great video. If you do enjoy today's video, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Or as you know, my overlords at YouTube are going to make me watch YouTube Rewind on a 10-hour loop, and I really don't want to do that. So please, for the love of God, hit the subscribe button. And also, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to smash that like button, but if and only if you do actually like the video. Without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Anyway, guys, we've got a lot to talk about in today's video, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is time frame analysis. Essentially, what time frame analysis is looking at how long certain moves take in historical markets on Bitcoin and then analyzing how long they're taking in a current market. So for example, if we were to look back on the 2014 bear market, then what we would see is that Bitcoin was in bear market, we pulled back 74% and it took about 400 days. Compared to over here, the 2018 bear market took 330 days and we pulled back about 70%. That's what we're talking about here, is how long certain movements take in the market. And remember these numbers, guys, because they're going to come up again later. Bitcoin had a much shorter bear market in 2018 than we did in 2014. I also want you guys to keep in mind that the Bitcoin accumulation phase was much longer back over here in 2015. We're looking at about a 275 day, we'll call it, accumulation phase in the year of 2015. And if we look back over here into the beginning of 2019, what we're going to see is that our accumulation phase was right around 120 days, nearly half the length. Now, let's do one more piece of time frame analysis. How long did the first rally in each new bull market start? The 2016 bull market and the 2019 bull market that we currently find ourselves in. Well, if we look back to 2015, guys, what we're going to see is that this rally right here, we rallied 144%, call it 150 for simplicity, and it took about 70 days. Now, if we look over here into 2019, this rally was about a 250% rally, and it took 88 days. And in fact, if you move from the very beginning of this rally, which you could argue is down here, it's more like a 300% move over the course of 150 days. So the bear market over here was longer than this bear market over here. The accumulation phase over here was longer than this accumulation phase over here. And this rally over here was longer than this one. What does that mean? Well, guys, here's what it means. It means that Bitcoin was bearish and neutral for longer in 2014 than we were in 2018 and 19. The total duration between all-time high at the end of 2013 and the beginning of the next bull market was 636 days. If we analyze the same move over here, it only took about 415 days. So what that means is that in 2014 and on into 2015, Bitcoin was bearish and neutral, and most importantly, not bullish for over 200 days longer than we were in 2018. Now also keep in mind, guys, every single price target up here that Bitcoin was trading at was roughly 10 times higher than what we were trading at down here. So Bitcoin was bearish for less time, and we were already worth over 10 times as much. Well, why is that important, guys? Well, this is why it's important, guys. If you're in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, there's a video in here called Gauging the Strength of the Bulls and the Bears. And one of the tools that you use to gauge the strength of the bulls and the bears is how long either of those factions has been in charge of the market. The bears have been in charge of the market for quite a lot longer over here. And keep this in mind also, the first initial uptrend of each bull market, this one was smaller than this one. So what that means is that in 2018 and 19, Bitcoin was bearish for less time, we went bullish quicker, and we rallied farther. And because of that, guys, the bears have gotten their power back. The bulls have been exhausted, and that's why Bitcoin traded sideways over here at the beginning of 2016, and Bitcoin has been trading downwards over here at the end of 2019. It's because we exhausted ourselves. It's because we didn't give the bears as much time to correct and to reset the market and to reset the power of each of the factions, and we let the bulls run away and rally far too quickly. This initial rally back in 2015 was 60% retrace from all-time high, where this rally that we went to back over here on the 4th of July roughly was only 30% retrace from all-time high. Bitcoin was too bullish. The reason that Bitcoin has not gone back to all-time high right now is because Bitcoin tried to go back to all-time high far too quickly. But that is far from the end of the video, guys. There is far more that we need to talk about. That is simply the foundation. And one more question that comes up when you look at this kind of time frame analysis on how long certain moves in previous markets took on Bitcoin. How long did it take for Bitcoin to return to all-time high, back up to $1,200 and beyond, the all-time high that was set at the end of 2013? An astonishing 1,150 days. Over 1,000 days. 3 years for Bitcoin to go back to all-time high. Bitcoin, as you can see, is still only 735 days from the all-time high. We hit all-time high almost exactly 2 years ago. That means that compared to our previous market, there should still be another year before we even hit all-time high, let alone go on our exponential moon ride bull market. But as I always say, guys, that's just one piece of technical analysis. What else is there? Well, for one, let me show you this. Bitcoin didn't start to go back to all-time high until over 6 months after the previous halving. As you can see, Bitcoin didn't hit all-time high again until 180 days after the halving. Guys, we're 150 days from the halving right now. By that metric, if you're extrapolating, then we should be expecting Bitcoin to be returning to all-time high this time next year. But also keep in mind, guys, that our market here is kind of on fast forward. Bitcoin has clearly run all the way through its bear market and accumulation phase much quicker, so things might happen a little bit differently. But so far, everything that we've talked about is pointing towards a $20,000 Bitcoin sometimes towards the end of 2020. But hold on, guys. Billy Mays here. There's more. Because I also want to show you guys the stock to flow chart. As you guys can see here, this is roughly Bitcoin's price action on a logarithm scale. And then we also have this stock to flow line right here, as you can see with me toggling it. If you guys aren't familiar with stock to flow, you need to fix that. It's very important. Stock to flow is a ratio between how much of a commodity exists and how much of that commodity is being produced. And it's a very, very powerful indicator and predictor of Bitcoin price action. Is something that you need to go and study up on if you aren't already familiar with it. But nevertheless, you can use stock to flow to give a price prediction for Bitcoin, one that in past has had a very strong correlation with Bitcoin's actual price action. As you can see, that is represented by this line right here, and every time a halving comes through, the flow, the amount of Bitcoin being produced, is cut in half, so that increases the stock to flow ratio for Bitcoin, which in turn should be impacting the underlying intrinsic value of Bitcoin. On this chart, the more red the price action is, the farther away the next halving is, the more blue and ultraviolet it is, the closer the halving is. As you can see, there was a halving back here in July of 2016. And at that time, Bitcoin was not even back up to all-time high just yet. As you guys can see also, our halving is not going to be coming until about 6 months from now in May of next year, which means according to our history of price action, Bitcoin, 1, shouldn't be at $20,000 yet, and 2, we shouldn't be expecting a $20,000 Bitcoin until later on in 2020. Because as you can see, later on in 2020, after the halving happens, the price prediction for stock to flow goes up to over $100,000 per Bitcoin in 2021. One more thing to note, guys, is that after Bitcoin goes through a halving, Bitcoin typically stays below that price prediction for stock to flow until towards the end of the bull market. As you can see, the majority of the 2016-17 bull market was actually trading below the price prediction from stock to flow. And then we rallied past it when we got overextended at the end of 2017, and that led to our bear market. What this means is that if we use this predictor, then we should be expecting, again, like I just showed you based off of our previous analysis, but again, based off of our stock to flow analysis, we should be expecting a $20,000 Bitcoin somewhere between October 2020 and the end of February 2021. That's my prediction. And frankly, guys, that would make a lot of sense, because if we look somewhere around December of 2020, that'd be about 1,100 days after the previous all-time high, which is almost exactly how long it took for Bitcoin to rally to that level in our previous bull and bear market cycle. But guys, I need you to understand something. Just because it's going to take another year for Bitcoin to go back to all-time high, in my opinion, does not mean that there's not, 1, gains to be made in the market, and 2, that there's nothing to do in the market. You make money in markets by volatility. You don't make money in markets by Bitcoin going to some price target. The lower Bitcoin goes today, the more Bitcoin you can buy for when Bitcoin does eventually go back to its all-time high and beyond. Because guys, like I said, not only are we looking at a $20,000 Bitcoin again based on our stock to flow chart, we're looking at an over $100,000 Bitcoin. And honestly, guys, when Bitcoin ran to $20,000, stock to flow was predicting $5,500, which, as you'll notice, during the bear market is exactly where Bitcoin pulled back to. But at the peak, Bitcoin rallied 4 times higher than stock to flow, which means this stock to flow chart is predicting maybe between a $300,000 and $400,000 all-time high within the next 5 years. So guys, 1, Bitcoin hasn't gone back to all-time high because it's just not ready for it, guys. These markets are cyclical. They tend to rhyme. They very rarely repeat. But everything that I've just talked about in today's video also lines up with the technical analysis that we've been doing here on the channel. And also, guys, remember one more thing, mass psychology. It's another thing that we talk about here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. It's in this video. Very, very, very important video. Markets move the way they do because people are trading them. Technical indicators, fundamentals, news, any of that stuff is actually completely worthless if no one is trading based off of it. I mean, seriously, Donald Trump could declare Bitcoin the world's global currency reserve, and if no one bought any Bitcoin because of that news, it would have zero effect on price action. People aren't going to allow Bitcoin to go back to $20,000 until they think it's time. And I think a lot of people understand that it's just not time yet. Bitcoin has not found a bottom just yet. Bitcoin has not put in a new uptrend just yet. Bitcoin has not gotten above a lot of those technical indicators that Bitcoin needs to be above to be in a bull market just yet. There are a lot of reasons why people are not allowing Bitcoin to go back to its all-time high. But the naysayers are going to gradually diminish, and their voices are slowly going to get softer and quieter, and the bulls are going to come roaring back to life as they always do, and the all-time high is going to be reached again, and Bitcoin is going to rally beyond it. It's just a matter of time. The fundamentals now are far better than the fundamentals back in 2017. The technicals look basically fine. Bitcoin just needs to rally a couple $1,000s to get right where it needs to be. The regulatory landscape for Bitcoin is just fine. There's not really a major issue or a major hurdle that we're even trying to overcome. The technological developments on Bitcoin continue to happen. I mean, things are working out, guys. Things are just, they're okay. You don't need to get worked up and worry about it. And guys, it really all goes back to that 8-letter word that I've been talking about so much lately, and it's patience. I was just telling someone in the Discord server, I'm going to get it tattooed across my big old 5 head so that you guys won't forget it. It's so important. Remember, patience, young Padawan, patience. As is often attributed to the billionaire Warren Buffett, markets are a system that move wealth from the impatient to the patient. So have patience and realize it's going to take a little time for Bitcoin to go back to 20K. And that's perfectly fine because a lot of money can be made between now and then. When we start seeing longs overtaking shorts on all of the exchanges, on BitMEX included, when we start seeing some more interesting news come out, like some more technological developments, Lightning Network news, China maybe adopting Bitcoin on a big scale or something, when we start seeing the halvening happen and we start seeing the news come back and we start seeing more people get interested in Bitcoin's going to go back to 20K. It's okay. So guys, until then, let's remember to be patient and make sure that we're in an investing position so that we can take advantage of that rally that we're expecting in 2020 and 2021. And also, let's remember that right now is a fantastic time to learn how to trade and be trading these markets. Investments right now aren't doing great, although I do think it's a good time to be investing in the market. But guys, investing is not the only thing to worry about in cryptocurrency markets. You also need to understand how to trade. And guys, trading is why we created the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I've spent thousands of hours studying these markets. There's over 700 videos on this channel because we produced a video every single day for the last 2 years. And every time I make a video, I learn something new about the market. All of that information, all of that content, all of that knowledge and wisdom that I've gained from my experience here in the cryptocurrency market is in CT2A. There's 34 videos here with over 10 hours of content. There's a $40 off coupon code for Christmas down below. Christmas 2019, you plug that in at checkout, you're going to get $40 off. Guys, I realize Bitcoin is a little boring right now. I fully understand that. But right now is a fantastic time to be learning how to trade so that you will be prepared to understand how to trade when Bitcoin starts moving again. It's hard to trade with low volatility, but that is just a better environment to learn. So guys, if you want to help support the channel while also helping to better yourself in the cryptocurrency space, that link is down below. So too is the first cohort if you'd like to join our trading community on Discord. Both of those links are down below, and we'd love to see you join both of them so that we can get to know you. I love the community that we're building over there. And guys, 2020 is looking to be a great year. Tell me in the comment section down below if you agree with that sentiment. I think it's going to be a fantastic year. But guys, before we wrap it out, there is one more thing I just want to remind you guys that it's to enjoy the journey. I think a lot of people get so caught up on what's next and what's the final goal and how am I going to get there that they forget to actually enjoy the process that it takes to get there. And you guys know there's a pretty common problem that Olympic athletes run into is that when they finally get that gold medal that they've been training for the last 10 years, they're standing up on their podium, getting the medal given to them, and then they get hit with a sudden bout of depression because they realize the thing that they always want, they finally got. And that question that is always somewhere in your head re-enters their brain and says, what's next? There's always going to be something that's next, guys. You never actually get there. That's a figment of a naive imagination. You never really get there. You're always getting there. Wherever you're trying to get, you're never actually going to get all the way there because once you get there, you're going to want something else. To understand, guys, one of the most important things in trading markets and profiting markets and enjoying your life in general is enjoying the journey because it's not half of the fun. It's basically all of the fun. So I'm not telling you guys how to live your life like some people have insinuated in the comment section down below, but that is something that I've learned and hopefully you guys got some good value out of that. If you did, hit that like button down below. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you enjoyed today's video, consider leaving an awesome comment. I try to respond to every single one of them when the video is posted. And guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would love to see you join our community, so go ahead and hit that down below. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.